Fiancé's family secretly spent almost a year pretending he was going to lose his job to test if I was a gold digger and then revealed it like it was good news, expecting me to be happy about being manipulated and watch the entire time. I, 24F, have been with my fiancé, 27M, for almost 4 years. He has a really well-paying job in tech and I make pretty average money. We've always split things fair and I've never asked him for expensive stuff or trips or anything. I honestly thought money was a non-issue for us. I never was interested in him for his money anyways. We genuinely clicked so well and I loved his personality. We are into the same nerdy things and his family seemed to really like me. I never thought I would have to worry about our relationship going south until now. A few days ago my fiancé sat me down and said he had something he wanted to tell me and he was smiling like it was good news. He basically told me that his family has been secretly testing me for the last 11 months to make sure I wasn't a gold digger. He said they were worried I only liked him for his income and wanted proof before we got married. The test was that they all made it seem like he was struggling financially and might lose his job. His mom would casually bring up layoffs, his dad talked about how unstable tech is, and slowly it turned into he might actually lose his job and you guys might have to really downsize. At one point his mom even told me I should be prepared to financially help him if it came to that. I never wanted to bring up the possibility of a layoff for him because I didn't want to stress him out. I wanted to be prepared to support him if needed. So I started budgeting more, saving money, cutting back on random spending, skipping stuff I wanted, and just generally trying to prepare for the worst. I constantly reassured my fiancé, encouraged him, told him we'd be fine, that I didn't care about money, that I just wanted us. But this whole thing was fake. His job was never in danger. His income never changed. There were no layoffs. His family literally planned this whole thing together. They kept it going for almost a year. Subtle comments made in passing to manipulate me and test me. Apparently this all started because his older brother went through a really messy divorce. His brother now pays a ton in child support and his ex-wife got a lot of money in the divorce, and his family fully blames her and thinks she was a gold digger. So now they're super paranoid about any women who dates one of their sons. The thing is, I've actually met his brother's ex-wife before. She was dropping off the kids at a family night and she seemed really nice and normal. I never once got gold digger vibes from her and honestly it makes me uncomfortable how much they demonize her. My fiancé said his parents finally told him that I passed and that they felt comfortable with him marrying me now. He said he wanted to tell me because he thought I'd be relieved to know he actually isn't struggling financially and that it shows how much his family cares about protecting him. Then he tells me that to celebrate, he upgraded our honeymoon to a nice luxury resort in Hawaii. I mentioned this resort when initially honeymoon planning but deemed it too expensive, so settled for a more modest option. But I feel weird about it. I don't want to be rewarded for being manipulated really well. Like, good job, we tricked you and you were so gullible you believed it. Here's a nicer vacation. I told him I felt manipulated, embarrassed, and honestly humiliated that his whole family was watching my reactions and judging my character behind my back for almost a year. He said I'm looking at it wrong and that I proved I'm not with him for his money and that this should make me feel more secure in our relationship. I wish I could ask my family what they thought, but unfortunately my mom passed away 2 years ago and I don't have a relationship with my father. I'm feeling sad and lost because I don't have a reliable second opinion to lean on. His family had become my family. That's what makes this even harder. His family is acting like this is totally normal and that I should be proud of myself. His mom literally said, "Most girls wouldn't have handled that so gracefully." I told him I need space and I'm seriously considering calling off the engagement, but I honestly don't know what to do. I love him and this is so out of left field. Now everyone is acting like I'm blowing this out of proportion and being dramatic. Part of me wonders if I am. But another part of me feels like my trust is completely broken. AIO? I'm not sure if tests like this are normal. I feel weird about it. Ike. Please help edit. A couple people are asking why he didn't just ask for a prenup. We actually did discuss this before we got engaged and I told him I would be open to a prenup. I brought this up when he confessed and he said he wasn't necessarily worried about divorce. The whole thing was about testing my character and making sure I was a morally good person before he married me. It doesn't make much sense to me and feels like his whole family went way out of their way to do some stupid morality test. I've never even given the indication that I'm shallow, so it really hurts. I just think they are suspicious of any outsiders who come into their family. Also, I misspoke when I said the Hawaii resort was all-inclusive. I guess I've used that word interchangeably for describing a really nice resort. Comments where Op has replied. Comment 1, hard to tell if this is ChatGPT bait or not. You'd think in real life they would have just asked you to do a prenup. If this is real, follow your gut. Oop, the thing is, we have literally discussed a prenup and I've agreed to it. I asked about this when he confessed, and he said the testing was to make sure I'm a morally good person and valued him outside his money, and that he wasn't afraid of divorce necessarily. I feel hurt that he would even question my morality in the first place. I've never given the impression that I'm shallow. It all feels off to me. Comment 2. Plus typically the groom's family pays for the honeymoon, so I didn't know they were offended by that. This is a thing in 2026? Has that ever been the case? Regardless, much like bride's family pays for the wedding, it's no longer the case for much of society. Oop, I guess you're right. My fiancé and I have been putting aside money to pay for the wedding ourselves. My family isn't in the picture, so we never expected financial help from that end. Maybe it's outdated for me to make that assumption. I now feel embarrassed about that comment. I still don't think it justifies the testing though. Update 1. I'm really sorry, I've never posted on Reddit before. I've always just lurked, never posted. I wasn't sure how I'm supposed to give an update. I replied to a comment, but didn't know if that was correct, so here is the update here as well. Thank you all for your comments. It means a lot to have so much support and validation. I knew right away deep down that this was wrong, but I needed validation, as bad as that sounds. I don't have close family or many friends, so hearing that my feelings are normal makes me feel less alone. This happened a couple of days ago. I'm still staying with my fiancé right now, but things are tense and I feel anxious pretty much all the time. He knows I'm upset and knows I need space, so he hasn't tried to talk about it since. He knows I'm considering calling off the engagement, which is why I think he's been so sensitive around me the last few days. He hasn't been acting like it's a positive thing anymore and seems pretty remorseful since I told him how much it hurt me. This morning, I asked him if he knew about it the whole time, and he told me that his parents started making the comments without his knowledge, and after he overheard a comment they made to me while over at his parents' house, he asked them privately why they said that, and they explained they were testing me. He decided to let them continue just to see what I would do. From past interactions with his parents, I also know he has a hard time standing up to them or disagreeing with them, so it honestly makes sense that he didn't call them out and just started going along with it. They told him that they were offended when I suggested an expensive resort for the honeymoon and made a comment insinuating that his parents would be paying for it. They got it in their head that I just expected them to shoulder the costs of an expensive resort without question, which isn't true. I happily accepted for a more modest option when they suggested it because I don't want to seem pushy or entitled. Plus typically the groom's family pays for the honeymoon, so I didn't know they were offended by that. Maybe I really did come off as entitled, but that was honestly never my intention. Regardless, I don't think that justifies testing me like this. He wasn't the mastermind, but he never stopped them and didn't see why it was wrong or manipulative until I told him how upset I was. A part of me wonders if he was manipulated by his parents to think this was acceptable. I'm torn between calling it off or having a conversation with him and asking him to go to couples counseling plus set serious boundaries with his parents. I also see some suggestions recommending that I talk to his brother's ex-wife. I think that's a good idea, but I'm honestly really nervous about it. I don't have her number, but I follow her on Instagram, so I'm considering DMing her and asking to call her. I'm pretty overwhelmed with the attention this post is getting, but I'm super appreciative of everyone's support and love. I think I have realized I have a people-pleasing tendency and a need to keep the peace, but I'm trying to force myself to break out of that. It's all just really scary and I feel really lonely. My natural inclination is to forgive and forget so that I can still have a family. I know that's not the best idea. I know change needs to happen. I'm still figuring out where to go from here. I'm sorry this post is so long. I tried to add my update to a new post, but the mods removed it. I'd quite update too. Well, my fiancé found this post. Honestly, I feel pretty stupid for thinking he wouldn't find it. I didn't expect this post to get as much attention as it did, so thank you all for that, but I was extremely detailed, which was kinda dumb. He saw the post and immediately clocked that I wrote it. He came to me yesterday with the post, and I was super afraid he would be angry, but he was actually very understanding. He said reading the comments was super eye-opening to him on just how messed up this situation was. He feels bad that he ever even tried to spin this in a positive light. We had a pretty deep conversation, and he came to realize that he has been manipulated very heavily by his parents and family. When his parents justify something, even if it's bad, his brain will immediately try to justify it too, because differing opinions were not allowed in his household growing up. This whole situation has started the realization for him that he grew up in a manipulative and emotionally abusive household, but was never given space to realize it because they had an extremist versus them mentality. So even when an extremely normal and well-intentioned person comes into the family, aka me and his brother's ex, they will do anything they can to invalidate their character because they are uncomfortable with outsiders. I have learned a lot about myself through this situation as well. First of all, I'm emotionally vulnerable and need therapy, bad. My need to belong has caused me to stay in situations that are unhealthy for me just because I'm so desperate for a family. I know that's bad, and I know it will be hard, but I want to change. With that being said, even though my fiancé was very remorseful and apologetic, I told him I want to call off our wedding and take a break from our relationship. We both have issues we need to work on by ourselves before we consider joining in marriage. I want to figure out who I am without someone to lean on, as painful as that may be, and he needs to seriously evaluate his relationship with his family and how they have affected him. I told him that if in the future, we find ourselves emotionally healthy and the timing works out, maybe we can be together again, but for right now, that's not the case, so we need to go our separate ways. We still live together, and I don't exactly have anywhere to go, so my fiancé said he will move out and try to find other living arrangements. He will pay his portion of the lease until I find another roommate. Again, thank you all for your comments and support, they mean a lot to me. Next story, coworker stopped working for 3 months after a breakup and our team leader kept dumping her work on the rest of us, so when they tried to add even more to my plate I went straight to HR. I work in a small office building for an estate company. I've been working there for 6 months now. In November, a coworker of ours, I'll call her Lena to make it easier, came out as bi to us while we were grabbing dinner after work on a Friday. She told us she's known for a month now and has been sitting on it to come to terms with it and that she was planning on telling her BF that night, but she wanted our opinions first. I understood it because most people on that table were her besties and we were all civil together and we were all girls, so maybe she wanted a girl's opinion? Anyhow, the weekend goes by and she returns to work absolutely wrecked. I'm talking eyes puffy, hair a mess and wearing the same clothes from Friday. I heard through the grapevine that the BF didn't take it well and dumped her. They've been together for 4 years apparently, so she's obviously distressed. For the whole week, her performance was absolutely horrendous, no work done, no meetings attended, absolutely nothing. Our team leader was good friends with Luna, so she divided Lena's work on the rest of us, just for the week she said. But this continued on until now and we're in February. Yesterday, the team leader decided to give me one of Lena's projects because this would have been her 5th anniversary with her BF. I said no, I already had my own work, why would I do someone's work for her and she gets paid for absolutely nothing while I'm still struggling with my salary and now double the work. The team leader threatened to write me up, so I went to HR and told her everything that has been happening, showed her the emails where the team leader gave us Lena's work and told us to be patient. On lunch break, Lena tried to corner me, telling me she's going through a rough time and that I should be supportive. I told her I was supportive, but now she's just milking it. She comes and goes as she pleases because the team leader covers for her. She doesn't work because her work gets handed to us and it's not fair. I told her that just because she's sad she got dumped, that doesn't mean we all need to pick up her slack. We all have our lives and problems, but we don't make it each other's problems. She called me a C word, and I just walked back to HR and told her what happened. They were both called in for a meeting and she's now facing possible termination, according to the same grapevine. I don't think I was in the wrong for going to HR. I'm not going to work for someone else and they get to hand it in and take all the credit. However, I think that I probably shouldn't have said what I said. 4 years is a long time, and she did look absolutely wrecked, but at this point it was getting a bit ridiculous to still expect such treatment. Ada? Comments where Op has replied, Comment 1. NTA. 3 months for an issue she created? I understand compassion for a few weeks, but I agree it's now taking the piss. Honestly, unless you're planning to cheat on your partner, why doesn't it matter if you're bi? Never understood that. A boyfriend could like men too. As long as he's not thinking he can have his cake and eat too just because he's bi. I'm thinking she didn't just say she likes girls too. She was expecting a threesome or to be able to have 2 partners. Oop, now that you're mentioning it, there were some more details shared through the same grapevine about why they actually broke up that I didn't want to put, but I'm just gonna say, his sister was mentioned. You figure the meaning out yourself. Comment 2. I struggle to understand something. I'm in a committed relationship, I wouldn't consider cheating. I discover that I'm bi. But what difference does it make? I'm in a committed relationship, I wouldn't consider cheating. I'm not bi, but that doesn't mean I'm not attracted to other men. But I'm in a committed relationship, I wouldn't consider cheating. I don't need to tell my husband that I'm attracted to other people, he probably is, too. So why did Lena need to tell her BF this? Oop, I didn't really write a lot of details, even though I know the whole thing, and it's messy, because I didn't want to put her laundry out there for everyone. So maybe you don't understand, but I'm telling you, the BF was right. Comment 3. If she can't function at work, she should be on sick leave, not getting a free ride on coworkers' backs. You did what you had to do. NTA. Update 1. Hi, since a lot of you wanted an update on Lena and the team leader, here it is, but I also wanted to answer a few questions about Lena. 1. Lena didn't cheat, at least that we know of. What I heard is that she didn't want to get with the sister physically. She apparently said that she has suspected that she was bi for a few years, since high school, but what really confirmed it was her BF's sister. Apparently that's why they broke up, Not because she was queer. 2. Why we let this go on for so long? It's because this was kinda what my team did to others in the team. For example, a month after I was hired, I had fallen and broken my right arm, completely useless and I can't get any work done. It took me a week to learn how to get things done with my left hand and they helped me with it all. Also, another coworker of ours found out that his wife had cancer a few months ago. He had to take care of his sick mother who is in a wheelchair, his sick wife and their toddler. For 2 months, we covered for him, did whatever work he couldn't do and sometimes took over his assignment so he can sleep a little. This all stopped when he told us that his sister finally came and she took over some of his work at home and he returned to doing his full work, so helping out in this team wasn't something out of the ordinary. 3. No, Lena's work wasn't all dumped on me. If it was, I would have gone to HR from a long time. It was divided on all of us. 4. Why Lena told her coworkers before her BF. Because most of the girls on that table were already her besties, save for me and 2 other girls, and we were civil with Lena. Maybe she wanted another girl's opinion? I have no clue why she told us. 5. Yes, most of us are on the younger side, like early 20s or something. Also, just because a woman pulled this crap doesn't give you an opening to be a misogynist. I believe this is all. Here's the update. So according to the grapevine, HR demanded a mental evaluation. Doctor's note from Lena, stating that she was actually struggling mentally the last few months. Apparently if she really was, they'll give her unpaid leave until she found a therapist. If she wasn't, she'll be let go. I don't know if there will be any repercussions for her, regarding the paychecks she took without actual work done. Nothing is known about team leader, but she didn't come in yesterday and no one is talking about her. Lena's friend group is giving me the dirty eyes and whispering about me in the lunchroom like high school girls, but at least 47-year-old Marie is happy she no longer has to do extra work and she brought us cookies. Some coworkers came up to me and they thanked me for talking. They said they were waiting until our annual meeting in March to tell the actual CEO about it, but they're glad it was resolved before it. I guess this is the sum of it. If I hear any news I'll make sure to update you guys. Thank you for the support. Update 2. Lena is most likely getting fired, y'all. Her desk was cleaned out yesterday and there hasn't been any mention of her. They're even interviewing new people, assuming for her role. As for the mean girls, I did talk to HR about it, and they held a meeting on Wednesday regarding creating a hostile work environment. The mean looks finally stopped. And now the one you've been waiting for, team leader is transferred to another team, and our new team leader is the coworker whose wife has cancer. I'm honestly so happy for him because this means a significant raise and a more flexible work schedule, and he definitely needs those too. Thank you all for the support.